We want to welcome you today to a very important conversation with former SLED Chief Robert Stewart and members of the law enforcement community and some other experts to talk about a brand new program that's been funded by the legislature in South Carolina. And we will tell you more about that as we go along, but let's talk to Robert Stewart about this program. Chief, tell us about the program that's been funded by Proviso funds.
Well, the history of this is for several years now, a coalition of law enforcement associations have been working to try to assist law enforcement officers with issues concerning post-traumatic stress disorder. You have the Sheriff's Association, Fraternal Order Police, South Carolina Law Enforcement Officers Association, Troopers Association, and others have had a combined effort to try to assist law enforcement officers with this environment that they're living in these times, which can be very stressful and have effects as a result of all of that stress. So we met with Senator Shane Massey, who's the majority leader of the Senate, and he is from Edgefield County, and he was very interested in assisting us in these concerns. So what was able to be accomplished, he had a proviso put into the state budget, which is in effect now, which will assist in the expense of medical treatment for law enforcement officers, and will also assist with the funding for the South Carolina Law Enforcement Officers Assistance Program, which has been in effect for some years. So this is a great step forward in this effort. The state law and federal law all now require, and this is fairly recent, require that insurance policies, health insurance policies, cover injuries such as this, mental injuries such as this. So that greatly helps with the primary expense. But what this proviso and the $500,000 that was appropriated for this, which half goes to the law enforcement, half goes to the firefighting arena, what it does, it will pay the co-pays and deductibles not covered by health insurance. And then the monies that are left over from that can be used by the SCLEAP program to help get out there in the preventive effort and all the wonderful things that program does. So that money is now available, and the way it was done to make it even stretch farther, there was an insurance policy has been taken out to cover these expenses. It also helps ensure the confidentiality of those needing this type service, and as I said, it covers the expenses not covered by insurance, but it also has the important effort in here, an initiative to help fund the law enforcement assistance program, because it can get out there right away and start helping these officers, and hopefully that their stresses and the pressures they're working under in regard to a work-related incident or a series of work-related incidents, so that they will not become worse, and maybe they won't need as much help. But if they need help, then this program also provides for that medical help.
Okay, so what we're talking about, if you as a law enforcement administrator had an officer who was exposed to a critical incident on the job, these funds might be available to assist them if they're feeling the impact of that critical incident downrange, and it's adversely affecting their life and their ability to serve in the agency. And
that can be determined in several different ways. It can be determined through the efforts of the SCLEAP program, that when you respond to departments that are asking for help, for debriefings and discussions to see who may need help that doesn't know he needs help. And then there'll be people that actually know they need help. But they don't have to go through that program. They can on their own seek this assistance, and then they will be reimbursed their co-pays and deductibles if they want to do it that way. So But the main thing is to get them the help, keep it as confidentially as humanly possible. We also got a statute passed last year that helps protect keeping this type of information confidential. So there's a lot of good things happening now to meet this serious issue that needs to be addressed.
And Chief, I understand that this policy covers 17,000 plus sworn law enforcement officers in South Carolina.
That's right. It covers all officers. It even covers volunteer officers. So, but it's something we're being very careful with to see that it's done properly, because we're already now seeking to get this money. Provisos go year by year, so we're seeking to get that. And hopefully when we get a couple years of statistics as to exactly what is needed and how the program's working, then there'll be an effort to make it made a permanent program.
Well, the law enforcement community and fire service and EMS are all certainly thankful to the legislature for what they did through this proviso.
And no question, we're greatly appreciative of the efforts of the legislature and of Senator Shane Massey spearheading this initiative.
Okay, thank you, Chief. We are going to go now deeper into this subject. We've got some experts from the insurance industry here, specifically from the company that SCLEAP has purchased a policy for 17,000 South Carolina sworn officers. I want to introduce to you Jim Stout from the Provident Company, and also Zarina Harmon, who is our representative with Provident here in South Carolina. Jim, let me ask you right off the bat to talk to me about the language of the policy. What does it say?
Well, first, it's an honor for us to partner with the South Carolina law enforcement community, so we're glad to be here. So let me just read you the language of the policy so we can talk about it. So it's a mental stress management benefit. So it's if an insured person suffers psychiatric or mental stress illness as a direct result of either being actively engaged in a single emergency incident or repeated active engagement in emergency incidents as a member of the policyholder, the company will pay a mental stress management benefit in accordance with Section 4 of this policy, subject to the maximum benefit amount shown, which is $15,000. The insured person must be receiving care by a physician properly licensed to provide such care, and the care must be appropriate for the condition causing psychiatric or mental stress.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Now, you mentioned the word physician in there, and the policy language about a physician is what?
The definition of physician is a licensed healthcare provider that is practicing within the scope of his or her license and rendering care and treatment to the insured person that is appropriate for the condition and locality.
Okay, so it's a physician's not only an MD, but in our case it's an LPC in South Carolina, a licensed social worker.
Right, as long as they're licensed to be providing that type of care, then they're
here in South Carolina. Okay,
yes.
Very good. Let me ask Zarina Harmon if she'll talk some about how does an officer make a claim?
Well, Eric, it is very simple. There is a claim form called the First Notice of Claim Form, and that is on your website as well, and you can have them fill that out if it comes to the point where they are seeking clinical help. They can fill that out and turn that into you, and then you would forward that to our office, and there is just myself and Marcia Greer, my partner there, which is part of the secure system that we have. It is only the two of us who review claims and process those through Provident, and we handle that in the state. Or they can, if they do not feel comfortable maybe going through SCLEAP or the program, right, they are more than welcome just to call us directly, and our name and numbers on your website as well, and they can send that directly to us.
Okay. And this is not it's the first year for law enforcement. It's not the first year for the fire service, right?
Correct. We've been doing it for several years now and have several success stories through that as well. It's something that we have a program set up just like SCLEAP, and it's a peer-based program. We do that. We've been doing that for years, and those that we may not be able to help and we refer to clinicians come through, and we do reimburse them for their out-of-pocket expenses.
Okay. So if a police officer in South Carolina was anxious about who knew that they were seeking this claim, they wouldn't necessarily have to come through SCLEAP. They could come directly to you get your number off of our website and call you directly?
That is correct. They are more than welcome to do that. We have procedures that we do find out who's an eligible member. They're the eligible membership based on South Carolina Law Enforcement Assistant Program and who you deem is an eligible member.
Right. Okay. Very good. And I think from our conversation with Chief Stewart, we've got 17,000 sworn officers in South Carolina. That includes everybody that's on the rolls at the academy, and that's ultimately the authority that we're going to seek out in a confidential way. We'll go to the lawyer here at the academy, discover if an officer is sworn. If they're on another list, such as the constable's list at SLED,
Right.
we will keep that confidential. But we want to get this provision, this benefit to officers in South Carolina as quickly and easily as we can.
Yes, and that's what we're here to assist in and just make sure that it does stay confidential and that they have 100% guarantee that it is just going to be between us.
Okay. And Zarina, a chief or a sheriff or the colonel of the highway patrol or an HR director, they can call you with concern about an officer and find out how to get their benefit through the program, but it doesn't have to be that way. The officer themselves, without talking to their chain of command, can call you directly and say, what do I do? I need some assistance.
Yes, Eric, that is exactly right. They can, at any level, contact us. Doesn't matter their rank and file, they're more than welcome to give us a call and we'll just point them in the right direction. And if it is just somebody seeking that treatment on their own, we have referrals that we can send them to and then also assist them in the claim process.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for coming and helping us today. Thank you for joining us from Pittsburgh, Jim, and we look forward to the use of this policy in South Carolina.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
We want to thank you for watching today, and we hope you'll share this information with other members of your department. You heard our officers today talk about the post-critical incident seminars. You heard them talk about peer support. The information about that's available on the SCLEAP website. We also say if you'd like to learn more about what you've heard, please see that website, www.scleap.org. Thank you.